Hey guys! So, I was telling you how I wanted to start a web series about sort of the journey that I'm getting ready to go on from transferring schools to graduation day and just kind of everything in between. The random thoughts, the chaos of trying to find out what I want to do, um, the activities I want to branch out into, and just kind of finding myself, finding where I belong and kind of what I feel like I'm born to do, or, just kind of venturing out. The 20s are supposed to be a time of exploring and just kind of seeing what's out there, even if you know what you want to do, it's fun to try stuff, so that's kind of what I want this time to be about. But, I kind of want this web series to be just kind of a place where I can help people out, or we can just kind of help each other out, if you're going through the same thing of transitioning from one thing to another, making those decisions, or maybe you're going to, at least at some point in your life, and I want this to be able to kind of do that. So, we're just going to go ahead and get started. So, today is all about transition and kind of making those first steps, I've been going out to a community college, small town, not too far from here, but it just felt like it was dragging on and on and on, my experience there. Now that I've graduated, it's like, wow, that went really fast, and I guess same goes with high school too, but while I was out there, it was just like, oh, another math class, another this, another that, like, when am I going to be done? It took me about 2.5 years because of my math. They kept adding on classes that needed to be taken, and so it just felt like the journey was never going to end, that I was going to be stuck out there forever, and it just felt like I was going nowhere, And then finally, I graduated this past May, and I got all of my paperwork in, and I still hadn't heard from my college. Or, I had finally found out like a week or two before graduation, I think, but I had waited for so long, and I kept calling out there, and I'm like, hey, have you accepted me? When am I going to find out? Have you gotten my application? I was just really paranoid because I'm like, okay, what if I don't get in? What if this doesn't work out? What if? So all of these things kept playing into my mind when I was waiting. I was really impatient and just trying to figure everything out. Like, okay, well, if I don't get this, then I guess I'm going to have to get a job. But when am I going to have time to go back? Just all these questions and things. So then when I finally got in, it was like, okay, that's good. This is good news. So now everything seems to be, lining up with that, which I'm really excited about. So I'm a communications major with an emphasis in journalism. I either want to write for, magazines, newspapers, like reviews and articles, whether it's interviewing celebrities, stuff like that, or working for e-news, like broadcasting. So I'd really like to do entertainment. That's my main focus. I really can't see myself doing anything else. So that's kind of my forte. So now it's just a matter of really getting involved in, the newspaper, the student journalism, or student government out there. And just as much as I can, out at my last college, I didn't really get a chance to be involved as much as I would have liked, just because it was so far away from home, and I actually don't have my license, so more on that later. So basically, I just want to get involved, I want to dip my toes in something, and if it doesn't work, then that's okay, Now is just a time to experience things, I'm young, and I feel like sometimes I have my life all planned out, like I've made goals and charts and plans and all these things, and I'm learning that, yeah, that's great, but you should also be open to what God has planned, and just what life's gonna throw you, instead of like being so stuck on this, because then when opportunities come, sometimes you're holding on so tightly to this one that you can't see this coming out of left field, and you miss it. So I'm really just trying to be flexible, to have goals and to have, oh, I want to try this, I want to get in this, but then if it doesn't work out, that it's not the end of the road, it's not the end of the world if this doesn't work out. So yeah, I just really want to experiment. Like I said, I'm also getting my license. Yes, I'm 21 and I don't have my license, but I've just never, being an only child, my parents have been, like, I'm pretty close with them, so it's easy to get a ride with them, or, I've had friends that have lived close, or that didn't really mind, every once in a while coming to get me, so it just never seemed like a big problem. But now that I am 21, and I'm doing a lot of things, it's kind of annoying, so I'm finally ready. And just at the time, there was a lot of family stuff going on, and I just wasn't ready for it. So now I'm finally ready, and I've been practicing, and my driver's test is actually like a month from yesterday, so I'm really getting nervous. But yeah, things are moving forward. And then this year, I also got involved in a ministry at church, a new ministry. I'd been on the worship team in the main sanctuary for about 3 years. I'd started off with the Christmas play, or our Christmas concerts. We put on this big production every year at our civic auditorium, and it's a lot of fun, and it helped me to meet a lot of new people that I probably wouldn't have gotten able, or I'm totally rambling right now because it's really late, and I've been gone all day, but I just had to get this off my chest. So yeah, I got to meet a lot of people, which led to me joining the worship team, instead of just doing it once a year, I really got to be with people every week, going to practice and getting to know them, getting to learn the songs, and it taught me so much about music and just learning from, how people would handle experiences or certain situations that would happen, if a mic went out, or if a light went out, or something fluky went wrong right before church, how would they handle that situation? And it just kind of helped me get more comfortable with being on stage, being around people, talking to people that were older than me, and just learning from people who've been there before. So I did that for a couple years, or about a year and a half, over there, like, constantly. And then there were some changes going on in the church, and they started doing the choir, and I did that a couple times, and then, you get that feeling where you just start to be comfortable, not because of anything that they've done or whatever you're part of has done, but you just feel like, have I just, kind of grown out of this? Have I, should there be more that I'm doing? And that's kind of how I felt. Not because of anybody or what they were doing. It was just, I feel like I should be, like, doing something else. And about that time, this last Christmas, somebody had presented us, me and one of my friends, with an idea that the youth was actually putting together a band, and they were kind of trying to, mix people from the youth, the young adults, junior high, and they were combining the teams. So they were like, oh, you girls should try out, I was like, no, I didn't want to. That was my first immediate reaction. I don't want to. And then it kept coming back to me every time. I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. It was like, I know I'm going to have that regret that Sunday's going to come and pass when the audition was, and I'm going to wish I had done it. So I did, and I kept going, and I, it was one of those things where I think it was just really testing my faith, would I keep going? And because it was uncomfortable, I didn't really know too many of the people, or I wasn't that close with the people on the team. Um, and it was gonna make me become a leader in a lot of senses, I think. And I think that scared me, so I didn't want to do it. So I'd gone for a few months, and then I just was like, I don't know. I don't know. I need to make a decision, because I can't keep just like not going to practices, blah, blah, blah. So I just prayed about it one afternoon, and it was like, okay, like I need it in black and white. I'm going to go tonight, and Lord, help me to decide what goes from here. And so, like, I prayed, I did my devotion that day, went that night, and I got the confirmation that I'd been looking for, that sometimes things are just uncomfortable and you have to, keep going through them. You know, and to get to that other side, you have to go through trials and you have to go through things that are going to build your faith. And it was like, okay, that's what I was looking for, and then we did stuff that night working on, stage presence and, really getting the crowd worked up and stuff, which was great. And then, so I went a few weeks after that and I was like really excited. I started talking to the leaders about some things, and now I think just with college coming up, I really want to focus on that, and I really want to be devoted to that. Not that I'm shifting my priorities like, oh, that's more important, but I just feel like I want to start going to young adults again. I've really flaked out on that, of going to our Bible study, because it's kind of overlaps with practice and timing just hasn't worked out. So I just really want to get back into Bible study first and foremost, to get back into my core group of, talking to my friends about the problems that I'm going through, instead of, just doing what I'm doing right now. And I think I definitely have learned things from this experience. It hasn't been a waste by any means. It has built my faith of, calling, when God calls us to do something or to try something, to go for it, and just to see where it'll take us. And I think by doing this, it helped me to see other opportunities as being a leader and helping out, but I don't have to necessarily do it this way. But I think had I not taken this, I wouldn't have come up with some of the ideas that I have, or whatever. So I'm still kind of trying to figure out, what I want to do in the ministry area, but I definitely want to, keep getting involved and helping out, because it is something that I've grown to love. For the longest time I wasn't involved or helping out, and I love it now. So it's just a matter of figuring out what's next and just kind of praying about it and seeing where God takes me. And I guess that's a big thing that I've learned this year, is that I don't have to have everything figured out. Here I thought, I had to have everything lined up. I have to go to college, then I have to do this, and then I have to do that. And it's great to have goals, but again, just reiterating that, it's good to be flexible too, because that's where God can really, do his thing. If we're constantly having this tight hold on what we want, we're never going to be able to see what he wants to do. So right now, I'm just kind of trying to be 21, to start being responsible for the things that I can, like, doing my own things instead of making my parents, ask or do this for me, or just getting things lined up with school. Those are the things that I can control. I can't control right now, who I'm going to marry, or what job I'm going to have 10 years from now, or where I'm going to be living 10 years from now. I have my plans of moving to Nashville, of wanting to write for a magazine or work for somewhere like GAC and CMT or something like that. But right now, I can do little things that lead up to that. I just can't have it all figured out. And that's okay. Half the fun is just getting there, So sometimes I think I just rush things too much, and God's just saying, take a step back, It's just learning to let up control. Because I have control. I want to be, I'm constantly daydreaming and thinking, how can I get here? How can I do this? And he's just saying, have your goals, have your dreams. I placed them in your heart for a reason, to do something about them, to give back, to help out, to, do things at church, to shine. He's given gifts to us for a reason. But there's also a limit, too, of having a balance and knowing when to just let him do the rest. So that's kind of where I'm at now. And I'm just kind of trying to enjoy the summer because, I have 2 full months before school starts. So I have a few more things that I need to do, like ordering books and figuring out who my counselor is because I haven't been assigned yet. But I'm hoping I can get all those little last minute details and just enjoy the summer. I've been trying to read and catch up on TV shows and hang out with friends because once school starts, I really do want to buckle down and get focused on what I want. And like I said, I have the whole plan that I'm gonna graduate and then I'm gonna move to Nashville. First I'm gonna graduate and then I'm gonna, save money and be able to buy a car first and save to be able to afford to move, and then I'm gonna move to Nashville hopefully and see where the rest takes me. But for right now, I'm just gonna learn to enjoy these moments and all the learning that's happening right now, and just learning to give up control and let God work. Because these are the moments that are building my faith and making me stronger in God and having to rely on Him instead of relying on only what I know. Because I'm learning that I don't know a whole lot. So that's kind of my words of wisdom right now. And we'll see what goes from here.